Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video, I've got two stories for you and both of them have updates. Now let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user Throwaway Agent 000. Wife 36 female wanted an open marriage. After I 38 male started dating, she wants to add more rules. What would you do in my position? 2.5 years ago, my wife Sarah, 36 female, asked me to open our marriage. She strongly implied the alternative was divorce. After thinking it through, I said yes, primarily because we do have 2 children. I work long hours and divorce sounded horrible. So I set up some ground rules. Not bringing dates into our house, not dating mutual friends, acquaintances, family members, or colleagues, and keeping things private. For the next 2 years, I focused on my job and my kids. I worked long hours and the little free time I had, I devoted to my kids. I didn't have the time for dating, so I wasn't even trying. I moved to another room because the thought of Sarah having sex with another man and then sleeping in my bed felt horrible. Our relationship became purely transactional and we became partners in raising kids. I didn't want to know anything about her sex life. This summer, I managed to fulfill my financial goals. I do not have any debt whatsoever. Both of my kids have enough money in their college fund, and all I have to do is keep adding some savings every month into the fund I made for their first home deposits. So I did some math and decided to cut my work from 74 hours to just 30 hours per week. Sarah wanted to get indebted again to buy another house and a new car, but I said no. I used my free time to have a vacation I really needed. Finally, I took my older son with me to tour the US together. I did some renovation work on our house and turned the basement into a man cave. I started working out, playing sports, leading a healthier life. Then I actually started trying to land a date. For me, just having sex with somebody is not my thing. I wanted to at least be a friend before that. To go out together, watch movies, have fun, and have sex. So I dated a couple of women and found Jane, with whom I clicked. With Jane, I went out to concerts, art galleries, comic-cons, movies, etc. And we would boink too. I don't like that word. Sarah wanted to talk about my dates. I said no. Then I caught Sarah snooping through my phone and we had a very strongly worded argument. Now, Sarah wants to update the terms of our open marriage. She wants to repair our marriage by going to the counselor. She wants us to sleep in the same room, go outside and have fun together. Our outside of marriage relationships are to be strictly sexual and nothing else, and we are to talk about our sexual partners. I told her that I was content with the situation as it was, and I didn't mind if she found a partner to go out with. I encouraged her to. And I don't want to talk about our partners. She is holding her ground. At this point, I'm split between trying to fix our marriage and handing her the divorce papers. I need some advice, guys. Well, OP, first of all, personally, I don't believe in open marriages. They may work for some people, but I don't know, it just doesn't sound like a marriage to me. So I would go for option B, divorce papers. What strikes me as funny is after she forced you into that corner of either divorce or an open marriage, she had her fun for apparently 2 years, and now that you are clicking with somebody else, she wants to change all the rules, take you to counseling to try to work on your relationship. It's a little bit late for that, isn't it? No, she doesn't get to change the rules just because it's convenient for her or because she wants it. And on top of that, she wants you to get indebted again to buy another house and a new car? She sounds really selfish and it's all about her. She wanted the open marriage. Now that it doesn't suit her apparently because you're having fun, she wants a house, a car, she wants to go to counseling, work on the relationship. No, again, I think it's a little bit late for that. So yeah, OP, in my opinion, it's divorce papers. And what about you guys? What do you think OP should do in this situation? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Jan5872 says, you didn't open your marriage. You ended your marriage 2.5 years ago to become roommates and co-parents. That's all the 2 of you are now, but neither of you seemed to care about that until you got a girlfriend. You didn't find a sex partner, you found a relationship. That scares the hell out of your wife because she's reading the writing on the wall. No More Tempests says, your wife is a hypocrite. You are emotionally numbed out. You agreed to open up the marriage upon her request, which was a really terrible idea. That would have been the time to do the work you both should have done to fix this crap. Marriages get stale from time to time. She needed to turn towards you, not put her emotional energy into new penis. Sorry about the crass language. I don't mean any disrespect, but you need a wake-up call. You do not have a marriage. It's a business arrangement now. So what's the point? Pretty sure you know the answer. Good luck, OP, and I hope you find what you're looking for. And OP responds, quote, your wife is a hypocrite. You are emotionally numbed out. End quote. Yeah, recently I noticed that too. Things that used to drive an emotional response from me are now leaving me feeling nothing. My friend died. I went to his funeral and all and didn't feel anything. Just felt like crap for not feeling anything. Nobody notices because I act in emotional responses. Have been planning to see a therapist. Violet Owl 22 says, I would divorce. The marriage was over the moment you moved into the other room. She's just now realizing that, which is why she's trying to backtrack. I assume she's jealous of the attention you are giving this other woman and is now understanding that you've moved on. Just divorce. Open marriage never works. Obviously, you both weren't clear on the expectations and it sounds like you checked out the moment it was open. You probably should have just ended it then. And OP responds, shouldn't have ended it then. I don't feel regret about it. By staying in a marriage, I could secure a better future for my kids. But yeah, I checked out. I thought me checking out was very clear from the beginning, but she didn't mind until now. Additional information from OP's comments. I was left with a bad choice and a worse choice. It wasn't easy at first. I felt disgusted by her. If she touched a plate, I couldn't eat from it. But then I started to think about her as a business partner, and I don't care about my business partner's sexual life in the business of raising kids, which made everything a lot easier. Co-parents living in the same house. As I replied in another comment, I'm really glad I didn't divorce at that point. By staying in the marriage, I could keep working hard while still seeing my kids. I couldn't pull that off without her taking care of most of the chores and kids. I could save enough to give them a chance in life with free college and save for their deposits as well. So, I actually do not have any regrets about that decision. I would feel a lot of resentment if we were to talk about her partners, but keeping that part of her life private, I was able to bury it deep and not think about it. For the past 2 years, I didn't do anything to spite her. We didn't have a single serious argument. Until I caught her snooping through my phone. Yes, I was working very hard and very long hours to pay for the house and give our kids a leg up. Our boys figured out something was off when we started sleeping in separate rooms, but I just couldn't keep sleeping with her. Still, up to this point, it wasn't a tense home. My only regret was not being able to spend more time with my kids. But hey, I can't have it all. In turn, they will never know what student debt is. Smiley face. Also, she can't touch the funds I created for our kids. I assumed that by making me pick between divorce and an open marriage, she would know I would check out. If she felt so neglected, why ask me to get indebted again to buy another house and then keep working long hours again? She only expressed it after I started dating another woman. I think that, weirdly, there is resentment coming from her side because I have somebody I connected with and I have sex too, while she only has sex. Since I started dating, this home has turned into a tense battleground, and that's something I do not want for my children. So, no matter what I decide, I will speak with my lawyer. Local laws are very fair when it comes to divorce. The house would get split 50-50, and I'm fine with that. Local divorce laws do not include alimony. I also inherited a very nice property from my granny recently, and according to local laws, that's mine. And she doesn't have a case for taking my kids away. I've always been a present dad. I would come back from work, do some chores and spend some time with my kids, playing, helping with homework, then more playing. I also took my older son traveling to another continent. So we are looking at split parenting, and now I do have the time for my kids. I can work less than 40 hours a week just fine. I wasn't a workaholic by choice, but by need, and that need doesn't exist anymore. For more context, my wife is a makeup artist. After the kids became a bit older, I encouraged her to start her own business. I even offered her a good place to open a salon, but she didn't want to. When our first was born, we agreed that she would be a stay-at-home mom until the kid went to school. She never got back to working again. I always assumed she had her hands full with the household, but after switching to working 30 hours, I'm doing half the chores in just 2 hours a day, and I have a lot of free time for extra activities. Now, if she had brought home some income, then we could have paid for the house faster, and her asking for another house and a big SUV while I'm the only one working and don't get to spend a lot of time with my kids, have no intimacy, and have been on celibacy for 2.5 years? What the F? She still didn't propose closing down the marriage after I cut down my hours. She did nothing to reconcile when I had more free time. She only has a problem now that I'm dating someone else. I am monogamous by nature. Not only that, but in the past I have, politely, rejected one-night stands. It's not my thing. She can obviously easily find sex if sex is the only thing she wants. She can easily find any guy to sleep with her or a dozen of them. Finding a meaningful relationship is a bit harder though. I would have a harder time finding just sex, but I found a meaningful relationship plus sex in just a couple of dates, and I think she feels resentment because of that. For me, our marriage became purely transactional. I told her she could spend the vacation with her guy, she said she would, then she stayed home and sulked because my older son and I had a great vacation on our own. I told her she could spend the entire weekend with her guy while I stayed home and took care of our kids. She said she would, made plans, and stayed home. A relationship in which I have to take care of her emotional needs while some guy is taking care of her sexual needs doesn't interest me. Alright, well, the community or the majority of the community agrees that OP should just go for divorce, that this relationship was over the moment they started either sleeping in different rooms or opened up the marriage. And in that huge amount of context that OP gave us, it sounds like OP is out of it and he will talk to a lawyer. So it's time to move on to the update to see how the story ends. But before that, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't become a part of our community yet. Now, let's move on with the update. Several people asked for an update on my previous post, so here it is. My wife Sarah and I had 2 sessions with a couples counselor. The counselor was very dedicated and professional. However, Sarah kept making demands that felt unreasonable and unfair. She wants to keep an open relationship that is only about sex. She doesn't want to find a job and keep working. She wants us to buy a new house. In every variation, she stubbornly wants to have 2 out of 3 of these things. Today, during the counseling, she threatened divorce again. Then after counseling, she said the counselor was taking my side and wanted to change to another counselor. Although I think the counselor was just trying to be fair and find a compromise. I had a talk with the lawyer and started divorce proceedings. She will get the papers in a couple of days. I will give her 2 months to get a job and start earning on her own. After that, I'm not giving any money whatsoever to her anymore. I'm out for good now. P.S. I just wanted to add that I only started working 74 hours a week after she decided to open our marriage. Before that, I was working around 50 hours a week. I wasn't spending my time at bars and clubs either. I helped with chores as much as I could, and I was home and available every weekend. Alright, well, the update was short, simple, and to the point. OP is serving her with papers, like he should have done a while ago, but apparently it worked out for him because his kids have college funds and a down payment on their house, and he was willing to make that sacrifice for them and now can focus on himself. So on that note, OP, here's wishing you the best in the future. Hopefully your divorce proceedings go smooth and without a hitch. Take care, OP, and thank you for sharing. Now, let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge, and it's by user WorkBitching. Blame me for your mess? Happy birthday! Have fun cleaning that up. So I've, 21 female, just moved out of a tenancy where I only knew one person prior to moving in. One of the people I lived with, let's call her Gemma, 22 female, was a major gaslighter. One time, I went away for 2 weeks, and the first day I came home, she demanded I clean up my mess in the living room. The mess in question was from the night before when she had friends over. She would do this constantly to everyone, but mostly me. Anyway, I moved out fully around 3 weeks before the tenancy ended and realized that I had left a few bits at the house, so I went to collect them after my 10-hour shift at work. Just before I was about to leave the house, Gemma asked me if I was going to clean the communal areas before I left. I said no, as I hadn't been living there for almost a month at this point, and she got angry. After arguing for 20 minutes, I walked out. Less than 10 minutes after I had left, she messaged our letting agent demanding that they get a professional cleaner to come clean the whole place and make sure only I was charged. The letting agent actually sided with me, and according to another housemate, she hated that. I've ended up blocking her on all socials. So, it's Gemma's birthday at the end of the month, and as a final FU to her, I've sent an anonymous glitter bomb to her. I reasoned that she'd not question a random parcel with her name arriving around her birthday. There are so many more nightmarish stories about Gemma I can think of, but I don't think I have enough characters to talk about them. Update. So, it's been 50 days since I bought said glitter bomb. I ordered it to arrive 2 days after buying it. It did not. Instead, it arrived almost a month later, and I was not too fussed about it after finding out what happened to my former housemates. Before going into that, I should give some context as to what has happened in the last 50 days. Gemma's birthday came and went with me having no contact with her or my other 4 housemates, unless cyber stalking their social media for a glance of glitter counts. Then, about 3 weeks ago, I got a message from Gemma's partner. "Did you send a glitter bomb to Gemma?" Immediately, I denied having any knowledge of said glitter bomb and any knowledge of what a glitter bomb is. "What is glitter?" was mentioned by me at one point. It turns out that Gemma and her partner broke up the day before the glitter bomb arrived. OF, I think I've got my friend in trouble with their ex. Anyway, Gemma's ex found it funny without knowing who sent the glitter. And we started talking regularly and arranged to meet up after not seeing each other for 3 months. Anyway, I got all the gossip and decided to admit to sending the glitter bomb to them and one of Gemma's ex-friends. It turns out nobody in the house likes Gemma anymore and has woken up to her gaslighting narcissistic personality. In the 3 months I've had no contact with her, she's managed to make an enemy of the house. After hanging out with my 2 ex-housemates, I agreed to go back to the house to drink and talk with the other ex-roomies. Gemma is out on a Tinder date the entire time. She also has lost her house keys, so she can't get in the house unless someone lets her in. I then proceeded to tell them I was the glitter bomber. The way I told everyone I sent the glitter bomb was by showing them the screenshot I took of the receipt of purchase. Seeing the joy when they realized it was worth it. The mess? This is the thing everyone is interested in. It turns out it was fine purple glitter. I did not get to choose the color. It stuck to her skin, the dress she was wearing, and got in her hair. The mess was massive. Apparently, she thought the next thing to be sent to the house was a pipe bomb. Always the dramatic shrew, isn't she? Did she clean it? No, she got someone else to do it. I apologized to him and he said it was fine and totally worth it. The roomies know about the Reddit post, but Gemma does not. And Gemma, if you see this, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Glitter bombs, huh, OP? I think maybe you should team up with Mark Rober, you know. He's like the YouTube glitter bomb expert if I'm not mistaken. It's sad that Gemma wasn't the one who had to clean that mess, but still, I don't think she's gonna forget about that one. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.